Hi, and welcome to another interview. Here is Magda joining me today. Hi.
Hi.
I heard you have a very interesting project. Can you tell me a little bit about
Yes. So I work on a project which is called AGEAR. And in AGEAR, we want to retrofit existing buildings only with renovating the facade. So we have a certain plug-in modular and industrialized facade solution. And with that, we will deeply renovate 4 demo site buildings. And our objective is to reach a nearly zero energy building, but also we want to implement circular economy principles. And we will do that on 4 different buildings in 4 different countries and 4 different climate zones. So it's a kind of challenging.
it. But also sounds very interesting to have those different constraints to think about. You probably then have to develop or create different KPIs. Did you do something like that?
Yes. So we started very early in the project to develop these KPIs. So what we've done is we looked first onto life cycle assessment. We saw that they have a lot of indicators, but not all are directly related to a circular economy. So that's why we choose indicators from LCA, like the materials for recycling, reuse materials, or materials for future recycling and future reuse.
Did you also think about impact factors like global warming potential, energy? Was that also a focus?
Yes, very much. So we took also global warming potential as an indicator and embodied energy. And we realized that this is actually not enough. So we digged into other frameworks such as the European Levels framework, which is more focusing on how buildings can be reused in the future or recycled. So for example, there we took indicators like durability or demountability of buildings.
Interesting to have like a different approach to assessing circularity. Was there more guidelines or more?
Yeah, actually there
Even
were.
more,
Yeah.
yes.
So we also started before even that to define what a circular economy is. So we realized there are several approaches. So we took the cradle to cradle approach and the R strategies as our definition of a circular economy.
Yeah.
And from there on, we derived other KPIs. For example, compostability, which is directly related to a cradle-to-cradle approach, was one of our indicators, but also the use of local material we took as an indicator. So we ended up with several indicators, but we think that all of them are important, but some more or less are more important.
Yeah. So we not just have it on a energy CO2 equivalent level, but also going into the material level on what do we do with the material afterwards, after the function is finished.
Yes, for sure. We look into, as you said, into future material streams. We call it material output, but our focus was also on the material input. And these KPIs were used as guidelines for the architects and designers. But we also wanted to evaluate their actual design decisions. So that's why the next step for us was to look into methodologies which can assess their design decisions. And we realized that there are several different methodologies which address different levels of functionality, we call it. So we have the component level, the assembly level, but also the building level, and they all need a different kind of methodology to be assessed with. And as we knew at the beginning of the project what materials we will use, we started to analyze these materials, whether they are circular or not. So we choose a material flow analysis, which is able to analyze components, but also assemblies of buildings up to spatial level. This methodology can assess the material streams. And we made a combination with LCA because we said that, as you said before, global warming potential is an important indicator.
Yes.
So we mixed this up and created kind of a mix of these two methodologies. So we had a material flow analysis to have a look what material inputs we have. So what is the material made of, what composition, and we also wanted to know what is the future material streams. So what kind of waste flows we get.
So you're looking at the past, at the what the state of the art is right now of the material, and then what's the future of the material.
Yes, so the status is more like what is the material made of?
Yes.
And the future would be like, how can it be recycled? Will it be landfilled or incinerated? But actually, these estimations are based on how the system, the recycling system is nowadays. So that's why it's more important to actually have this different kind of levels. So we first started with the material. The next would be the assembly, where we put these materials together and we see how we can actually deal in the future with these material flows.
Very interesting. So one of my getaways is that just using an LCA to assess circularity is insufficient. We need more, a material flow analysis, for example. But what are your main takeaways of this project, of this process of developing those KPIs?
So the first would be like start off very early in the design process with KPIs, have your goals, and during the entire design process always kind of get back to them and see if you still align with your design decisions. But also follow up with really evaluating your design decisions. So take a method and really analyze if you're still going the right direction. And I agree that LCA is not complete when it's about assessing circularity. So it's always good to have a combination of two methodologies to really have a holistic view on your circularity goals.
Very cool project.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for being here, for telling me, but also telling you guys about this interesting project. And hopefully see you soon. And you too, see you soon in the next interview.